Was it too fun? Let's see what's next. There it is. All right. Too fun. 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 Alrighty. So, let's talk about this. So this is the current Mr. Olympia. Let's take a look at the anatomy, okay? Because it's the best way to kind of break this thing down. So we're going to have the lat here, okay? We're going to have the serratus muscles right there. That's going to be let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 6, 7, and then 8 is back here. Okay, we're going to have the teres major right here. We're going to have the wish I could move this up, but let's take a look at the pectoralis. Okay, so here you can see it's very, very angular, right? Most of the meat is up here, and then all of this is just being stretched right there, okay? We're gonna have the xiphoid process, the very end of the rib cage, and then that's his rib right here, coming down, going this way, okay? We're going to have the abs right here. This is an oblique, 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 oblique. And notice the shape of the oblique as we're coming back in, okay? And then we're gonna have the second true abs, and then the cag, right? So you notice we don't see more lines and more lines, right? So he's got false abs up here. He's got true abs with striations, okay? You got the deltoid right here, trapezoid. We got the bicep right there, and we've got the third head right here. I think that's the elbow, if I could see a little bit more, but that's the third head, tricep, yeah, long head, short head, rear delt, aponeurosis right there, okay? So when I look at yours, you can see how wide your pectoralis is, right? It's just going out way too much and then coming back in. You need to think about trajectory, okay? And then let's take a look at, we can take a look here. Okay. So yours are going down, his are going across, right? So you still want to try to get that underhang here, but what it's going to do is expose the rib even more, right? Because there's not going to be a bunch of muscle right here. Okay. It'll be up here where it's kind of puffier, where all the pectoralis heads are coming together. But down here, it's stretched as much as it can be. Okay. Right. And just so you can see the difference of whenever he's relaxed. And all right, so this is what you're sculpting. You're sculpting with his with his pec down or his arms down, right? And whenever they're up, they're basically, we see the rib right here, right there, okay? So think about that while you're sculpting. Okay. So that, and then really make sure you're following the rib cage here. You're going to get your teres major, which is going to come off of here. So you kind of have some things hinted at here. But you need your chromium process. You need the spine of the scapula. And since his arm is all the way up, we're going to rotate that scapula 35 degrees. Okay? So here, we're going to get that at about 35 degrees. And then we're going to attach the teres major to the bottom. Okay? And then the lat's going to go over. All right? So we'll see a double back bicep from Bumstead. Here, let's take a look at this. We have 7 cervical vertebrae. We have the base of the skull. We have the trap. We have the spear of aponeurosis. We have the trap coming down, attaching to the acromion process. We have the spine of the scapula, the blade of the scapula, and then look at this huge teres major right here. Okay. And that is inserting into the armpit. Okay. And then right here is your lat. Okay, so the bottom of your scapula is down here, right? And it's being pushed into the lat, which is coming over. You can always tell where the spine meets the blade because of this little hook right here. You'll always see that. Okay, so you'll always know where that is. Okay. So then you have the traps, and notice all the form is up here, right? Even though it's attaching down here. And this is just wrinkling of skin and just the most shredded you could possibly be, right? So that's just skin and just folding in on itself. Okay, so you don't want to give it too much form, right? It's not form, it's detail. Okay, so I see a lot of people sculpting detail as form, so be very careful with that. Okay, and then you have the kind of like the shelf right here of the spine of the scapula. Then you have the rear delt right here, the infraspinatus, the lateral head right here. Notice the lateral head has more striations than any of the other head. This one just has that one. This one just has one in front. But your lateral head will have lots of striations in there, right? You can see striation, 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 striation. Okay, and then on the back it's just boom, boom, boom. What? Boom, boom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, and then this is your hip right here. And then your oblique coming from your 12th rib right there. Okay, so I like to do these before I actually sculpt something as complicated as the back, right? And I like finding these ridges here because ruffles have ridges, all right? And then just kind of giving it a topological treatment here. Just trying to analyze this and try to understand the form. I'm not worried about striation, striation, striation. That's not, most people don't struggle with creating striations. They struggle with seeing the simple forms that make up everything that they're seeing. Okay. So this is the type of stuff that I teach in my mentorship in a much more detailed manner. Okay, if you are interested, we do have mentorships open right now. There's 2 spots left. 6 weeks live, 2-hour group sessions. We have 2 spots left. So if you're interested, join the ZBHO Dojo, as many more than 500 other serious artists have. Go to tutorials, read what I have written. If it still interests you, message me up here, and we'll get you all set up. Okay. Alrighty, so let's go here. Okay, so we need to So we're going to get the lat here. We're going to get a little bit more room. Okay. We're going to bring that over. It's going to be right in there. Okay. Right in there. Yes. Yes. So the scapula, you're going to have the acromion process. You're going to have the blade of the scapula, or spine of the scapula, blade of the scapula. Okay. And so the bony landmark is going to be right here in the corner. Regardless, we can take a look at C-bum. Regardless of how built he is, you can still see that little hook right here. You can still see that bony landmark right there. Right? Boom, right there. I automatically know. And he is, right? He's overextending his back so he looks wider and he looks fuller, right? So, yeah, so that's how you can always tell where the bony landmark is, right? So right about there. Okay, and flatten it out. Right there. Okay. Your traps coming there. Coming there. You still want the spear of aponeurosis. Still want the 7th cervical vertebra. Okay. You really want to kind of open this up, right? Because you can't, I mean, I guess you can do that, but whenever you're putting your arms like this, I guess you can kind of squeeze it, but you're naturally going to pull them forward so you can lift your elbows more, right? So if anything, you're opening your back than you are bringing it together, right? So if I was doing this, then I would be bringing my scapula together. If I'm doing this, then you're spreading them out, right? So you want to consider that as well, about this being a little bit too bunched up here. Okay, so we can grab all this, move it there, open this up a bit, and then we don't have so far to travel for all that, okay? So we're going to bring this here. We're gonna have that hook right here, so we know that's where this trap is going over, and then we're gonna bring this down, okay? And we can leave this right about there so we can kind of see what we're going to be doing, right? Because you're always going to be sculpting with reference. There's no reason to, no one gives you awards for not sculpting with reference, okay? Right here, getting that lat here, and I'm not listening to chipmunk music. Okay. And so you see this little pocket in here? That is the serratus. Okay. And then we see the lat coming over right there. We see the infraspinatus, and then the teres major. Right, you want to wrap it underneath the tricep, and you want to make sure this is going around the rib cage, right? So we don't want it to suddenly pop out for whatever reason. We want it to wrap around the rib cage. Okay. And you want to make sure that these, let's take a look at the C-bum. Okay. You can see that his serratus muscles aren't going all the same way, right? They're not all going diagonal. The bottom one is going the most diagonal, and then it's like a clock as it's going up. Right? Okay. So imagine that they're doing that. Okay. So you're gonna have 9. Let's get a bigger brush. You're gonna have 9, 8, and it's going to come to, notice where it's going. It's going to the nipple. Right? To the nipple, straight down, right? So wherever the nipple is, wherever you're going to put it, that's where your serratus is going to. Okay. Alrighty. So keep that in mind too. I think this torso may be a little bit too long because there's not much room for that clavicle. Glow sticks.
Hey bro, you tripping, bro? Tripping, bro? Tripping, bro?
Just a little dance break though. Is the eye anatomy drop coming soon? Yes, it is. It is coming this month. This month, every month you will have a not every month till the end of time, obviously, but for the foreseeable future, every month you're going to get a new tutorial to the spicy bundle. If you aren't aware of that, it's at my art station. If you're looking for something a little bit more affordable, you can go here, the world famous spicy bundle. Okay, you can go there, check it out, see if it's something, or you can get one of the other ones. They're all separated, right? So you can get the bundle and everything else that I do for free, everything else I do in the future for free, and all the classroom recordings, all the new projects, all the new tutorials, all that stuff will be added, and you only pay the price that you originally paid. Okay, but or you can get them sparsed out if you just want to try me out. But they're all 5 stars, so you know you're not taking a chance. It's gonna be the best money you ever spent if you're trying to be a character artist. Okay, so so we need to do that, right? We need to bring this down a little bit more, and we're going to come out and grab that. Okay, I would suggest putting a rib cage in here so you can get a little bit more control of all this, and you don't get so so lost when you start adding this stuff. And then we start going down, and then we start going down, right? So it's a little bit more natural, and then we can get that, right? So that's kind of what it's doing. It's fanning out that way, okay? But we just have so much skin here that it's going to be pulling on all this and feeling like it's being pulled off to the side. But that's just the transition between skin, flexing, tension, body fat, all that good stuff. Okay? So in between each one of these is going to be the obliques. So in between there, right here, you're going to define the ends, right? This is where all the aesthetics come in, right here. And then in between each one of these is going to be the oblique. Okay. And then the overall oblique. So this is coming from 12, 11, 10, 9. Okay, so where the end of our trap goes, that's 12. And so now you know where the obliques are going to come to. They're going to attach to the whatchamacallit, the hips, right? The iliac crest. Okay, we don't really see it right here, so we're not really going to worry about it, but we do want to have a nice feel to it. Okay, so it's going to stretch out a little bit more. Okay, something like that. And a little bit more of a V pattern as opposed to a roop, right? Instead of going down and that, just think of it more as just straight. Okay. And these are things that, you know, that you're not going to know unless you use reference, right? You can even if I block out the anatomy and I spend all the time in the world doing it from memory, I would save so much time if I just brought out a piece of reference that was even close to what I was trying to do, right? And then I could work on it and use that to further what I'm doing, right? Okay, so his abs, right here, we're gonna get that xiphoid process right here. We're gonna get his ab right there. This is his rib cage, rib cage, rib cage. And yours are going from the center down, and they should go from the outside down towards the center, right? Coming this way. Okay, and then flat. Get a little striation right here. Get that. There. It's going to be meteor towards the center. It's going to be meteor up here. And you notice it's going along with the ribcage. Okay. And we're going to have a nice deep pocket in here for the serratus muscles and the armpit and all that good stuff. Okay. So what are we at? Yeah, I think it's lots of information for you, brother. Lots of things for you to think about whenever you're sculpting this thing. Okay. And serratus muscles are obviously something that takes a long time to get right, so hopefully you will excuse my really quick sketching. And just kind of familiarize yourself with all this. Okay. But even the abs here, just getting the trajectory correct and taking a look at it, right? It's not going that far back. All right. It's coming out from there. Okay. We're doing our own thing over here. Doing the group mentorship on my own. So yeah, 6 weeks live 2-hour group sessions, limited to 6 artists per session, $150, and there's only 2 spots left, possibly 1 left after I check that message. So join the Discord, go to tutorials, and it's right here. If you have any other questions after reading all this, go ahead and message me right up there. Okay.